Welcome to the start of a brand new show here on Milton Access TV, a sports talk show that we hope will take root here in this town and will highlight the local sports scene, and at the same time we'll get to discuss some local and national issues with our panelists. But right now, I want to introduce you to the rockinest band in the Bay State Herget Division, the Milton High School Band. Welcome to Stepping Up to the Plate, a new sports talk show here on Milton Access TV. My name is Michael VEGA. I'm with the Boston Globe, but I'm a Milton Town resident and an enthusiast of the local sports scene here. And we're so pleased to bring you this show to Milton Access TV. We appreciate your participation, and I want to tell you a little bit about why we decided to do this. I've been part of an eclectic group of men who have gathered every Thursday mornings at a local establishment, East Milton Square, and we share coffee and donuts. And I have the donuts, so they don't. But we have good times. Share. Yeah, we have good times there. And what we have done is had rollicking, great discussions about sports and books and movies and food and Frank Sinatra even, and Ted Williams. But a lot of great times there, and I wanted to try and bring that little vibrant energy to Milton Access TV. I sat there thinking, boy, this would be a great thing to put on, and I'm hoping that it is. And at the same time, we want to kind of highlight the local sports scene and give a little bit of a forum to what's going on in town and to highlight all the sports that are percolating. And in fact, it's great energy right now in the town with the success of the Milton High School football team. 8-0 for the first time in school history. They've won the Bay State Herget Division for the first time in 52 years, with a great win against Wellesley. And so, Coach Steve Dembowski is to be congratulated, for installing this exciting brand of football with an attack-oriented offense, an attack-oriented defense. And, people are coming out now and supporting Milton football. But a lot of great things happening. And, what we like to do is discuss all manner of sports, and what I want to do is introduce you to the group of guys that I've hung out with every Thursday, and it's been a pleasure. And I'd like to call ourselves the Hacksters because we all step up to the plate. We offer our hot takes sometimes. So I want to turn over to my father-in-law. Bernie, go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Bernie Tarasevich. I've been a resident here since '71. And going along with what Mike has said, with the excitement around the football game, the football team, I've gone down to several games these Friday nights, and it's been exciting. And my granddaughter is a senior here at the high school, and it's nice to see the excitement within the town and within the school and within the community. Just as a sidelight, I want to pay tribute. This group got together because of Billy Walsh. Years ago, we were all members at Wollaston, and during the winter months, we decided to get together and have a extemporaneous get-together over coffee and discuss many, many subjects. And it turned into a fun thing. And unfortunately, we lost two of our associates, Bill Kearns, who was a longtime scout for the Seattle Mariners and quite an athlete and coach from the Milton area, and another good friend, Mike O'Toole, who passed away this past year because of ALS. And that were thank God for Billy Walsh getting us together, and it's turned into a tremendous weekend get-together where we discuss various subjects and without any pressure or anything like that. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Chuck Burns.
Very nicely done, Bernie.
My name is Chuck Burns, and I guess I'm the interloper here because I came lately. I've been a resident in Milton since 1968. 6 children, 5 of them graduated from Milton High School, 1 of them from BC High. In the 70s, as you know, those of you who know me, I was very active in the sports scene in Milton on a high school basis with the boosters and on the Article 38 committee for the athletic facilities in the town. And it's very heartening for me to see how this has developed over the years and to see Milton High School having so much success in football. We got a lot to talk about tonight, so let me move it along to my buddy Bill Walsh, the starter.
Hi, I'm Billy Walsh. I raised 5 daughters in Milton. They all went to Milton High School. They all married good guys, and some of them were cheerleaders, field hockey championships. But I'm so proud of Milton. I'm so proud of this new coach. It doesn't get any better than this. And I'm proud of the teachers that they have here. It's wonderful. And I'll pass it on to Jimmy Hagee.
My name is Jim Hagee. I've been a longtime resident of Milton. I've had a couple of kids come through the high school, and just watching this production today has given me a great feeling of school enthusiasm that hasn't been here for many, many years. Al?
My name is Al Prizzuti. I don't live in Milton. I live in Canton.
How did you get on this panel then?
I don't know. Well, let me say
You'll
this.
find out soon, Mike.
I'm here to balance this off. I mean,
Yeah.
we want to talk. I'm going to talk about obviously the Bruins,
Awesome.
and
That is allowed.
I just like to say again about Billy Kearns. Billy was one of the nicest people you could ever want to meet, and we always talked baseball, and obviously he had a different opinion about all of the athletes than we did, and it was a great conversation. And Mike kind of he was into it. He was a Notre Dame guy, and he talked football, but I could at least talk movies with him. So, and I don't want to stop talking until I say 2 things. Frank Sinatra,
Yeah, baby.
we're going to get that in there somehow, and Tyler Sagan. We got to talk about Tyler Sagan today. That's it.
Yeah. Well, it's fabulous. I mean, you look at what's going on right now in the Boston sports scene too. There's a lot of excitement. Obviously, the Patriots 8-0, and it's almost analogous to the excitement that we're seeing here at the local level. But I'm wondering who's going to beat them, and will they make the run this year? Do you guys see them?
I think the
You talking about Milton or the Patriots?
Well,
Mike?
both. Let's talk about both. But let's talk about the Patriots here.
Fine.
I mean,
Let's-
who's going to beat them? I don't see the Redskins beating
Let's
them.
start with Tom Brady.
Right.
Here's a guy, 38 years old, that's playing like a
Amazing.
28-year-old guy.
Yeah.
And it was interesting today, I was reading in the paper, going back to 2003 when they played the Redskins. Tom Jackson, who I admired, an ESPN reporter, after the game said that these Patriots hate their coach. They probably won't win another game. And of course, they went on to win something like 21 straight games after that. So
Right.
where does it stop now? They're 38, Belichick's still there,
It's amazing.
Brady's still there.
Yeah.
Where's it going to stop?
As we've discussed this, time and again, the Deflategate issue to me has been much ado about nothing. When Bernie, you played football in an era where the ball was probably deflated much more than that. When you talk about, you guys had face masks, didn't you?
No.
Okay.
Problem was his ego wasn't deflated. That was the real
But the thing is that what kind of bearing did that have in the outcome of the game? What kind of bearing did that have in the outcome of their season? At the end of it, none, in my estimation, none. So you look at what they've done there. Bill Belichick, obviously, heck of a coach.
Great coach.
And that's where it all begins, I think. And the marriage of coach and quarterback has been, I think, unparalleled, their success.
Well, Bob Ryan had a terrific article in the Sunday Globe, and I had the same conversation a couple of days before with my son out in California. I don't know if Ryan tapped my line or what, because the entire article was the gist of what I had told my oldest son out in California, that we Bostonians have been spoiled through the years, and I'm old enough to have experienced all this, having seen Ted Williams play, first game that Bobby Orr played in, the Russell years, but the last 15 years with Belichick and Brady, we're all spoiled in this area. And when you see the number of championships we've had in 4 major sports, we're the envy of the rest of the country as far as I'm concerned. I don't think there's any other geographical area that can have the success that we've had these last 30, 40 years.
You know, if I'm looking at the World Series now and the way that team was constructed, and I'm Dave Dombrowski, the guy I go get right now is Johnny Gomes, because, you know, he's been a lucky charm for all these teams that he's been on. He's an amazing guy, and, you know, he's a great clubhouse presence, but, you know, I'm wondering, can the Red Sox do what the Royals did? You know, construct a team like that. You know, they didn't have the Cy Young winner. They didn't have the MVP. They didn't have the Rookie of the Year, but they beat them all, as Johnny Gomes said at their big rally.
Yeah,
You know,
but
they beat them all.
they have
But it's
pitching.
kind of interesting that they're not signing any of the free agents.
Yeah.
It was in the paper today, so I don't know.
You look at all the teams that went to the playoffs, they have good starting pitching, great relief pitching, and the Sox don't have either.
Well, that's been their downfall
I mean,
this
in
year,
order
yeah.
for them to build a championship team, they're going to need to get a 1 on the pitching staff. They need to get a closer, and that's going to be a difficult task, because then you got to give up some of the guys that we all think are futures.
How did we get it on to the Red Sox? I mean, for Christ's sake, we're in the football season. Come on, you know.
Well, he wants to talk about Tyler Sagan, and I want to give you that for him because, you know, he came back to Boston, and, you know, I mean, we're all sitting there. How come we can't get guys
well,
like
it's
that?
going to be the biggest mistake the Bruins have made in a long time. I mean, we lost Phil Kessel. He didn't want to play here.
Right.
The kid that went up to Calgary, Hamilton, he didn't want to play here for whatever reason. Tyler Sagan was 20 years old when the Bruins' second pick in the draft. The kid is an outstanding offensive player.
Yeah.
Outstanding offensive player.
No question.
And doesn't fit into the scheme, so to speak. But that wasn't the reason why they let him go. They let him go for all of the antics off field. And I would say this: give me $6 million, 20 years old, put some hair on my head. You know,
You'd be a dangerous man with hair on your
I
head.
would be in.
You'd be his wingman, Al.
But it's a sin that he's not playing for the Bruins, and I think he feels it as well. But
Well, Jimmy,
Would
what do
you
you
blame
what-
that on Chiarelli?
you know what? I blame it on the whole, from Julian, who's a defensive coach,
Yeah.
to Cam Neely,
Cam.
all the way up to Chiarelli. I mean, that had to be a joint decision. And I think it was more as a result of things that he did off the field, which, too bad, off the ice, if you want to say that. But
Jimmy, how much did
That's a
they-
tremendous investment they
Yeah.
had in Sagan early on. I think it even went higher than Keeley. I think it went to right to Jacobs. It was a very difficult decision for them to make, and I think they decided that was what they wanted, direction they want to take.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult. The other thing is that the other night Chris Kelly got really banged.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
And that was a terrible injury. It's sad to see him in such pain, but they're going to be sorely missed because he's probably in the top 5 or 6 players in that team that they can't afford to lose. And
well, he's an assistant captain, but you know, he's
no,
not.
but he was invaluable on the ice.
He was
Penalty killing.
he
and-
was valuable in the locker room. He's he's a fourth line guy. He's 35 years old. He'll never put on a Bruins uniform again. I mean, think about this. He's a free agent going into next year. I mean, I feel bad
He was a
for him.
tremendous presence in that room. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
but
you
his
know,
presence
I
on the
think
ice was
he's a great
acceptable.
leader in that locker room.
you know,
but,
a lot can be said for that. But in terms of an on-ice guy, I mean, the Bruins can pick up. I mean, I don't think it's going to hurt them all that much. I mean, their power play and their penalty killing. Power play's been fine this year, which was different from what we've seen. The penalty killing stinks.
Yeah.
So,
Well, there's a lot of interesting things going on in sports in Boston and in around the nation as well. But you know, as we mentioned, none more exciting than what's going on right now with Milton High School and their football team, 8-0 for the first time in 50 forever, I think. But you know, having won the Bay State Hurget Division with an incredible win over Wellesley, you know, they got the top seed, and now looking forward to Friday night's game, against a Stoughton team that is a pretty difficult opponent, and we're so excited for Coach Dembowski and the win that they had against Stoughton. And right now, we'd like to show you a few highlights of that game and that win that they had last week at Brooks Field.
Second 10, second 5, there's a touchdown! Pass is complete.
One of the reasons we wanted to try and start this show in the first place was to kind of highlight, some of the successes that have been going on in Milton and the sports scene here, and to accentuate the positive with what's going on here at the high school as well. And the football team has generated a lot of the buzz, but you also have to give credit to some of the other programs that are also experiencing success. And the high tide that seems to be raising all ships here at Milton. You think about the Milton boys soccer team, who had a big win against Bishop Feion, 1-0 here at Milton. Now they advance to the next round against third-seeded Oliver Ames. You have of course, the girls soccer. They're playing against Apponequet, and they're in the tournament as well. Girls cross country, Bay State Hurget champions as well. They went 5-0 in the division, and they're 9-1 right now. And they won their first championship since 2009. And of course, we had golf. Walker Stroud finishing 4th in the Bay State Conference Championship. So a lot to be proud of here at Milton High, but everyone is so proud of the accomplishments of the football team, obviously, with the historic season that they've had. And we're pleased to be joined right now by the head coach Steve Dombowski and some of his players here. And I'd like to introduce him. Steve, thanks for joining us here at Stepping Up to the Plate, our inaugural season. We wanted to thank you for your participation, and I'd love to have you have your players introduce themselves.
Thank you, Mike. Why don't we start with you guys?
Mike Fallon, senior quarterback, number 12.
Captain Mike Fallon.
David Perkins, senior receiver and cornerback, number 11.
David Perkins.
Mac Feeney, senior running back and linebacker, number 40.
And Derek Perkins, senior wide receiver and cornerback, number 10.
Derek Perkins.
Well, Steve, thank you so much again for joining us and bringing your players here with us, and the cheerleaders. Thank you so much, cheerleaders, for being here too. An important part of the process, the band as well. But I just wanted to talk to you, Steve, a little bit about just not only the excitement, but this being your first year at Milton. What were some of the things that were your expectations when you took over the job here, and what was the things that you wanted to accomplish your first year?
I thought we would definitely have a winning season with the talent that we had on the roster. Some of the kids I didn't even really get to know until we started. Some of the kids you met right away. And then I really thought that with the experience at the skill positions, we would have a chance to compete for the conference championship. And that's basically what I told the guys the first time I met them. That was my expectation. And they've worked hard to get to this point, and we're just pushing forward. So it's been really good.
You've installed this exciting brand of football. And I think if any word kind of best described it, it would be attack, because you attack on offense and you attack on defense, and it seems to put teams on their heels. Can you speak to that mentality of trying to go after wins here?
I mean, you couldn't say it any better than what you just did. Our offensive philosophy mine has been spread the ball out, work the field, make it easy for the kids to see what their responsibilities are instead of putting everything in a shoebox. We have some great speed here, and these guys are basically making the plays. Our offensive line has done a good job. Our defensive line has done a good job, and our coaching staff has done a good job. But particularly Coach Wilcon with our defense, he said to me, we need to marry our philosophy with our offensive philosophy, and we attack on defense and get after people, and that's really allowed us to develop and to be 8-0 where we are today.
Mike, as a quarterback of this offense, you must salivate to have guys like the Perkins, David and Derek and Kendall Van Allen, and obviously Mac Feeney, who comes. I see him as kind of like the hammer of your offense and the hammer of your defense. But can you describe what it was like the first time you got together with these guys and started to implement this offense?
Yeah, I mean, I've played with them forever, and then just bringing it here with Coach Dembowski, the spread offense, I think it fits our personnel very well. And first time we had it, we went to all these 7-on-7 tournaments, and I think we thrived in those. And then once it came to the season, we just put all the work that we put in this off season into the season, and just played well and executed, and everybody just did their little job, and so it gave us success.
What was that like the first time you got into the huddle against Needham and you called that play that resulted in the first touchdown? I mean, it was amazing to see. I think it was David that wound up being the target on that first touchdown. And the thing that astonished me was just the quick separation. It was like Olympic world-class speed there. When he got away from the defender. Yeah, I mean, it was a trick play, and Coach dialed it up to get the first score and get the momentum going our way. And I mean, we didn't execute it really well. I rolled out and I threw it off the back foot, which, I mean, it was a horrible decision to throw that. But I mean, we have faith in our guys, and you just know that he's going to make a play no matter what happens. And it was a bad decision, but we gave him a shot, and he made a play and set the tone for the season. Absolutely, and you're to be congratulated, Derek, making a great play on that. And can you talk a little bit about that start of the season when you beat Needham the way that you guys did? Did you feel like it was the start of something special?
I did, in fact, feel it was something special. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you scored that touchdown and you got away, did it feel natural to you?
Well, it's something that we have been practicing all summer long, like Mike said. So when we called it up in the game, it's kind of like routine for us. We just made a play, scored, got the ball rolling.
It seems like you added an explosive element, you and your brother and Kendall Van Allen and a couple of other receivers there. But you still have a guy that you can turn to run the ball. Can you talk a little bit about your hammer there, Mac Feeney?
Well, Mac's a good player. He gets the ball, sees the hole, explodes through it, scores touchdowns. It's like clockwork.
But Mac, I think that a thing that goes underappreciated is the defense that you guys are playing this year.
Yeah.
And what's astonishing to me is that a lot of the guys who are playing on offense are also getting it done on defense, especially the guys up front, offensive linemen. They're playing with great push up front, and obviously you guys are bringing it on defense and have that same attack mentality. Can you tell us a little bit about the season that you guys have put together on that side of the ball?
Well, we're just working hard. Everyone's doing their job. Running a high risk, high reward defense, just playing our hearts out.
That last game against Norwood, the first playoff win that this school has had, what was astonishing to me is that you guys spent the whole first quarter on the field on defense.
Yeah.
How tough was that for you guys, and how did you kind of benefit from that experience?
It wasn't too bad, We just kept trying to get off the field, but they'd get some conversions on 3rd and long, and we just kept going back, next play, let's get this done. And it kind of helped for us on offense because everyone got a break at halftime, and then we came out on offense and just started playing our game.
Now, David, I think that, or Derek, obviously that you guys had a tremendous win against Wellesley. It's probably the signature win of the season. Would you agree? The one that won the Bay State Conference, and big contributions though from both you and your brother, who at the end of the day felt like hey, this was my game.
It was like really a team win. Everyone did like their job on the field, and everyone just came together, and just at the end of it, we just got the win. So it's really a team type of win.
Did you feel this the buzz in town? I mean, the excitement. Do you guys, as a team, when you walk through campus, walk the halls here at school, what excitement is being generated amongst your classmates and your schoolmates?
Yeah, like us winning games like brings a positive vibe to our school and just like makes everyone like want to come to our games and watch us and like cheer us on. So like I feel like us winning games like brings our team spirit up and like brings our school spirit up.
Yeah, it's funny, Steve, because I sit in the stands with all the people up there and been to several of the games, and one of the remarks I made to the fans after your win against Norwood was, I think we're going to need to push through an override for a stadium expansion, because there's so much buzz right now, and I think it's going to be exciting. And spinning it forward, you got a big game Friday, an opportunity now to take another step. Can you talk a little bit about the upcoming opponent?
Well, the remaining teams in our bracket are Stoughton, who is our opponent this week,
right.
And then the number 2 seed is North Attleboro, and the number 3 seed is Duxbury. So those are all established programs. So we're still fighting to prove who we are, and since we've earned this 1 seed, they're going to come to us. Stoughton has had a strong season. They lost to North Attleboro in a 1-score game in the opening week, and then they lost to the state's number 1 team, Marshfield, in week 2. Since then, they've played very strong, and they're 5-1 in their last 6 games. Their only loss was to Canton in overtime. So it's going to be a battle this week, next week, and probably going forward from there. But the guys have worked hard. I think what you really see from the way they talk is they bought into their roles and doing their jobs. Mike's a distributor on our offense, like a point guard would be in basketball, and we have these shooters, you can call them our skill guys. We have great skill guys, and they work really hard. They don't complain about when they get the ball, because often the defense will dictate, which guy gets the pass or which guy gets the ball in the running game. And they've all bought into that, and the same philosophy carries over to our defense. And if we can keep all 3 phases of the game going strong, anything is possible for us. And at this point, we are the underdog, and we're going to fight and scrap and take everything we can get until we're the established program that people fear, and that's our goal.
It's amazing that you took this program as they had that underdog mentality, but now they're the top seed. Having won the Bay State for the first time in 52 years. It's been a history-making season. Do you guys kind of relish in that? Do you feel like you're making a special memory here that will establish a foundation and maybe continue to grow here at Milton?
I think we recognize that we're having a special season and we're a special team, and I think bringing it to this town is great because, as you said, we haven't had it in a while. But our mindset is we just take it week by week, and we know that if we don't get it done this week, then next week isn't there, and so we just treat every game like it's our last, and I think we can relish the season at the end of the season and appreciate it, and we'll appreciate it when we're older especially.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys, we truly appreciate what you've done this season, the great excitement you've generated. It's fun to go to Milton High football games again, and we wish you nothing but the best. I want to thank Coach Steve Dembowski, Mike Fallon, David and Derek Perkins, Mac Feeney for joining us here today, and of course Milton cheerleaders for being a part of this, and the band as well. Thanks so much. Well, that's our show for today, and we want to thank everyone who participated. We want to thank Coach Steve Dembowski, his football players, Mike Fallon, David and Derek Perkins, and Mac Feeney. We want to thank the Milton High School cheerleaders and band for participating in this inaugural show. And here at Steppin' Up to the Plate, we just want to take the time to thank you, the viewer, for spending your time with us. And hopefully we'll be able to do some more of these shows, and we invite your participation and your comments and your suggestions. And as we leave you here at Steppin' Up to the Plate, we just want to remind you, keep swinging for the fences.
And be good to yourself.